What's up, humans, and welcome to a new Psicoactivo. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Before I continue, I just want to let you know that if you like the content you see, I'm going to ask you to please like, share, hype, comment, subscribe, and hit the bell icon. That's all you need to do in order to help us, really, but it is what helps us the most. However, if you want to help out the channel in other ways, we have links down there you can choose from. You can become a member on YouTube or on Patreon. If you want merch and no ads, I think Patreon is the way. This is the only ad you get on Patreon. You can also choose to give us a review on Spotify because we were just accepted to the partner program and we can really use your help to keep growing. You can also go to the main channel if you're new. And I got about 850 episodes that you can go through. I would really appreciate doing any of those things. Whatever you choose to do is always appreciated. So thank you. Okay. Something happened that I wanted to talk about for a long time, but I wasn't able to because the folks at SEU are very uptight when it comes to their conferences. And if something comes out, there's always shady stuff going on in the background. They always demand for stuff to be taken down. It's been almost a year since this happened. And given that Joe Murgia is putting it out again, I'm going to talk about it finally. What is that? It's a really interesting quote from Jay Stratton at SEU 2025. And when that came out, there was a lot of people who covered it. I didn't because I saw the reactions from people at SEU. I know I can tell you more things about SEU. People who were there, for example, another mysterious face, Dr. Adam Yingling was there. Jake Barber was there with an entourage, and things got a little like militarized for a while at SEU when the event took place. And then Jay Stratton came out to say everything that I'm about to show you guys. And suddenly you couldn't report on it or even talk about it as if there was some kind of prohibition going on, which it never really sits well with me. But it's been a year and the reaction was way over the top, in my opinion. And this always happens with people like Jay Stratton, Dan Farah, who are protecting sort of rights or IP that they're eventually going to come out with in a book or in a movie or stuff like that. But, it happened to me with Jay as well, with the whole Predator story. But on that occasion, I did fuck it up because I cloned Jay's voice and that was wrong. I apologized. That was that. I could have read Joe Murgia's whole case there, whole post about the Predator story with my voice, and I wouldn't have gotten into any trouble. Because as far as I'm concerned, and as far as Murgia is concerned, that is free to use because it leaked. So it became public. So whenever this happens, I really don't have a great reaction to it. So I'm happy that it happened, and I'm happy of the context in which it happened, which was President Barack Obama's latest statements that he walked back about aliens being real. There's a snippet in this SEU conference or statement that Jay Stratton put out that makes us remember and link this statement from Barack Obama from a couple of days ago to this. So I'm going to read the whole post that Joe Murgia put out because, he puts out really long posts and I love reading. So let's do this. Shout out to Joe for this because I think it was important. It says, Jay Stratton speaks, and I quote, "We had the credibility to brief at the highest levels of government without filters, including the White House. It turns out there was another much larger, deeply hidden, long-standing UAP program underway. I think this was first posted by Sentinel News," he says, "last June, but they were asked to take it down. I saved it. Jay's book will be a must-read for everyone interested in UFOs, the phenomenon. And I'm not deleting this if someone asks. Good on you, Joe." And I quote, "I keenly believe that consciousness is a key aspect in all of this, and perception," Jay Stratton, 2025 online forum. Then at South by Southwest post screening, he said, "I've been giving members of Congress and the executive branch not only the existence of non-human intelligence, but the address to go look to see it. And they were denied access. Jay Stratton, 2025. Who in the executive branch was denied access? This brings us to that clip from Obama and that final part where he talks about a conspiracy.
Are aliens real?
They're real, but I haven't seen them, and they're not being kept in what is it?
Area 51.
Area 51. There's no underground facility, unless there's this enormous conspiracy, and they hid it from the president of the United States.
What was the first question you wanted answered when you became president?
Where are the aliens?
Where are the aliens?
And then let's go to Jay Stratton's entire quote from SCU in 2025, which I can now read again. And please, it's been a year, so leave my channel alone. Here it is. Stratton says, sometimes these things appear to defy our known physics, or maybe just our known engineering. We understand the physics, but we don't know how to make it work. I went to my network of friends and trusted colleagues across the special programs community. I reached out to capability developers across the DoD. I flew out and met with the team at the National Air and Space Intelligence Center at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. I even spoke with friends in industry from Skunk Works to Phantom Works and others. I asked the question directly, is this us? One by one, the answers came back no. Simply put, these UAP, they're beyond next generation performance, was real. And we had classified data to prove it. We started digging deeper into the topic, examining and investigating not just individual incidents, but the broader pattern, frequency, geography, technology signatures, and the credibility of our observers, while diving deep into the past reports and started connecting the dots. The more we saw, the more it became clear. The UAP we were seeing presented a very serious national security concern. Time and time again, we learned about UAP incursions of sensitive sites, and when we investigated, there was data. We were not the only game in town. It turns out there was another, much larger, deeply hidden, and long-standing UAP program underway, and they had no interest in sharing what they knew with us. I'm not going to get into specifics of that hurdle today, but suffice to say, it was extremely frustrating to be investigating UAP, trying to address a serious national security concern while knowing that others inside my own intelligence community and military service had knowledge about the very questions that we were asking, and they weren't sharing them. They were supposed to be one and the same team, but they were not. So we continued to push forward on our own, the best we could, driven by mission despite the institutional barriers standing in our way. Our mission was broad. We didn't view Congress as an obstacle. We viewed them as partners, and we updated them regularly at the classified level. USS Theodore Roosevelt began reporting sustained interactions with UAP of the East Coast from Oceania down to Jacksonville, Florida. These objects were detected and tracked across multiple independent sensor systems, radar across multiple bands, electro-optical and infrared systems, and visually by trained observers. And despite the quality of the data and the credibility of the witnesses, the system still resisted. The stigma was alive and well. Bureaucracy slowed every attempt to elevate this issue through the normal channels. But for us on the inside, those who knew what was happening, the warning lights were flashing. Powerful hidden hands created hurdles. I used that external momentum to engage directly with congressional leadership on both sides of the aisle, secure higher level buy-in across the executive branch stakeholders, and reinforce the case for a permanent, formal UAP investigation body inside the US government. And I wanted a true whole government interagency task force. When the Deputy Director of Naval Intelligence pulled me aside, she said bluntly, "There is so much pressure coming from Congress and the public. We need you to quietly build the biggest, most coordinated program to investigate UAP the government has never seen, with naval intelligence in the lead." She added, "You have direct liaison authority across the US government." Holy shit. I didn't know this. "We had the credibility to brief at the highest levels of government without filters, including the White House. When I publicly acknowledged on the record that some of these objects were real, detected across multiple sensor anomalies, modalities, and remained truly unidentified, it was the first time in US history that a senior government official made such a statement. Not off the record, not anonymous, but from inside an active US government UAP program. Despite the public shift inside the system, old habits died hard. Unfortunately, the UAP task force progress was blocked by bureaucratic tampering, institutional stigma, extreme secrecy, compartmentalization of information. It should all sound familiar, as well as other significant roadblocks. Ultimately, these hurdles faced led the UAP task force to being shut down about a year later. But the impact we endured, I hope. And then Joe says, I think that should read has endured. And despite the pressure from those hitting hands who don't want the truth shared, no better way to say it. The work must continue and grow upon the foundation we built, our history. Our history will repeat itself, and suppression of the truth and silence will once again rule the day. Sometimes these things appear to defy our known physics, or maybe just our known engineering. We understand the physics, but we don't know how to make it work. Less than 1 in 10 people in this country and probably across the world is even lower are paying attention to this topic. They're just not. Notes from the Scientific Coalition from UAP Studies Conference on June 6, 2025. Okay, so why am I showing you this? You ask. It's because I think that Joe Murgia is starting to make a possible connection that Obama was one of the executive people that Jay Stratton may have briefed. Now, we would need a comment from Jay on whether this happened or not. I don't know if he would share it, to be honest with you. And I'm well aware of all the different opinions that exist when it comes to President Obama and how exactly during a very critical week for all of politics in the US, when it comes to the Epstein files, this came out. And now he made a walk back because he apparently and more than likely got a call. So I don't know if this is the case. We should ask Jay Stratton about it and see what he thinks. But I found it really pertinent to read to you these quotes from SEU last year that I wasn't able to share because of this prohibition that exists in many of these conferences, not just SEU. I don't know what you guys think about that as well. Leave me everything you want to share in the comment section down below. Do you think Jay Stratton was the one who potentially briefed Obama on this? Or what do you think happened? Who do you think did it? Let me know in the comments. I'll be reading. That's it for me today on this video, but I'll see you guys in the next one. Remember, stay curious and inquisitive like Joe Murgia. Always. Bye.